So now we'll go to the second chapter of the mathematics paper first, algebra, that is divisibility theory in the integers. Okay, so you are familiar with the set of the integers. So this is nothing but what? 0 plus or minus 1 plus or minus 2 dot dot. Okay, so if you want to take z plus positive integers, now this is what 1 2 3 and so this is same as the set of the natural number. Z plus means the set of all positive integers is nothing but a set of the natural number. Non-negative integers means what? You have to include the 0. So 0 is non-negative, therefore 0 is added in this. Okay, so you are saying that non-negative integer, that means 0 will be there, but you are saying that positive integer, 0 will not be there. You are saying that positive integer, set of the positive integer is nothing but a set of the natural number. So note that this. So for that, so if a result is depend on the positive integer, that means what? The natural number, then we are using the mathematical induction, and that mathematical induction is that the S is a subset of positive integers. So if S is a set of positive integers, satisfy the following property, 1 belongs to S. That means 1 is a member of S. So if K belongs to S, then the next element, that is K plus 1, is also belong to S. That means S is a set of the, now this is subset. We are saying that what? S is a subset of positive integers. Subset, we are saying that. But what? If these two properties are hold for the S, then S will be the set of the natural number. That means the set of the positive integers. So S will be the set of the positive integers. That means Z plus, that means the set of the natural number. So any subset, suppose S is a non-empty subset of non-negative integers, then it has at least it has the least element. That means it has the smallest element. What about the largest? That we don't know, but it has the smallest element. We don't know whether it has the largest element. That we cannot say about the largest element, but we can say only the smallest element. That is the least element, that we can say. That is the well ordering principle. Okay. Now suppose Pn is a statement. Pn is a statement. Pn is a statement. 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square plus dot 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 plus n square is equal to n into n plus 1 twice n plus 1 upon 6 for all positive integer n. Okay. Then induction hypothesis is, we have to apply the induction hypothesis for all n greater than or equal to 1. We are saying that positive integers. So first positive integer is what? 1. First positive integer is 1. For all n greater than or equal to 1, 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square plus dot 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 n square is equal to n into n plus 1 twice n plus 1 upon 6. That means this Pn is this. Then this is the induction hypothesis for all n greater than 1. This. Okay. So we'll write all the induction hypothesis here. So for all n greater than or equal to 1, this is induction hypothesis. 1 plus 2 plus 2 square plus 2 cube plus dot 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 plus 2 raised to n minus 1 is equal to 2 raised to n minus 1. Okay, you should remember this also. This is the formula to find the sum of the numbers like this. Okay, so this is the geometric series. So you are familiar with the geometric series, how to find this. Okay, so if you want to prove induction, what you have to do? P1 is true. Assume that P1 is true. We verify for n is equal to 1. If P1 is true, then what? Verify the result for n is equal to k and prove the result is true for n is equal to k plus 1. So if this happens, then we are saying that this is true for all n natural number. Okay. So this is induction hypothesis. Okay. So we write all induction hypothesis. So for all n greater than or equal to 1. So you should remember this sum also for this one. Okay. So this happen. So this will be asked in the objective exam. objective. So that means what here? So sum of this is what? This is less than or equal to something like this. So this is equal to. They will ask this is what equal to. You have the four options something like this. 2 raised to n minus 1, 2 raised to n plus 1, 1 minus 2 raised to n, 1 plus 1 2 minus 2 raised to n minus 1, something like this. Four option will be given to you. You have to choose the correct option. So for that you should know this one. This is also forward. This is equal to 2 minus 1 by n, 2 plus 1 by n 1 minus n, 1 minus n minus 2, or this is what less than 2 minus 1 by n. So option will be there now. So okay, so we'll write all for all n greater than equal to 4, n factorial is greater than n square. N factorial is greater than n square. We are writing only the important points here to face your objective exam like this. So for all n greater than equal to 1, for all n greater than equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus dot 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 plus n is same as n into n plus 1 upon 2. For all n greater than equal to 1, this is sum of the odd number plus twice n minus sum of first odd number. This is the sum of first odd number is n square plus 3. This is the sum of first n natural number. So that you should remember this. For all n greater than or equal to 1, 1 into 2 plus 2 into 3. This is the conjugative term. For sum of the product of the conjugative term. N into n plus 1. N into n plus 1 is same as n plus 1, n plus 2 upon 3. So here what? So this is twice n plus 1. Sum of the squares of the first natural number. First n natural number. Okay. So now these are the formula. You should remember this. These are the formulas. You should remember this. This is the induction hypothesis. Okay. So 1 square plus 3 square plus dot dot dot. This is the sum of the squares of first odd natural number. So twice n minus 1, twice n plus 1 upon 3 for all n greater than equal to 1. This is what? The sum of the squares of first n odd natural numbers. Okay. Now next, 1 for all n greater than equal to 1, 1 cube plus 2 cube plus dot dot dot. This is the sum of the cube of the first n natural number. So this is what? n plus 1 upon 2 square. Okay. Now this is here. Okay. So that means what? The sum of the so the sum of the this is what? The square of the sum of the first n natural number. That means what? Sum of the cube of first natural number is same as the sum of the square of the sum of first n natural number. Okay. So that you should remember this. These are the points. You should remember this. Then for all n greater than equal to 4, n factorial is greater than 2 raised to n. For all n greater than equal to 6, n factorial is greater than n raised to 3. This is n raised to 3. N raised to 3. Okay. So you should remember this. Okay. Suppose this is what? 5 raised to twice n plus 2 raised to 5n is divisible by. Okay. The number will be given you. There will be the 4 options. So what you have to do for this one? Put n is equal to 1. If you put n is equal to 1, so is it minus? This should be the minus. Okay. So if it is 1, so what happened then? This is what? 5 square. Okay. Minus. If it is 1, 2 raised to 5. Okay. If it is 1. Then see, 5 square is 25. Minus 2 raised to 5 is a 32. 2 raised to 5 is 32. So 25 minus this will what? Minus 7. This will be minus 7. And see, the number is given something like this. 2 suppose. So which one will be your required answer? This will be your required answer. Okay. So this is what integral multiple of So table was is divisible by this is what is given by 7 or is integral multiple of so your answer is what 7. Okay. So same thing here. What suppose this is what one example is there 8 raised to n. Same example 8 raised to n minus 3 raised to n is divisible by or is integral multiple of. The option will be given like this. Okay. So what put n is equal to 1, then this will be 8. Put n is equal to 1, this will be 3. So this is 5. Okay. So then the answer will be what? Suppose here 5 is there. Suppose. Okay. The answer of this one will be your 5. Okay. So you can choose your answer like this. So this thing is very important for the mathematical induction. Only this part of the mathematical induction is so here what we are not solving the problems for the mathematical induction. So we are seeing how to face your online exam or this internal exam or MCQ exam like this. So just we are discussing the such points here. Okay. So which are helpful to attempt that your MCQ. Okay. Now next is what divisibility. This is very important here. Divisibility. So first we will see division algorithm. That means what? Suppose we have AB belongs to Z. A and B are integers and B not equal to 0. Okay. So B not equal to 0. That means what here? So B will be here, A will be here. That means what? You can divide to A by B. Then this will be the quotient and this will be the remainder. Right? So then you can write this as A is equal to what? BQ plus R. This is the division algorithm. And this is the remainder. It should be the less than B. That means what? 0 is less than R is less than mod B. Whatever this is, mod B. Okay? We'll say mod B. This is condition is very important now here. Right? For A and B, B not equal to 0, there exists QR belongs to Z such that A is equal to BQ plus R, B not equal to 0. If they are saying that A not equal to 0, then you have to write this B is equal to AQ plus R. Right? 0 is less than R is less than, so this okay, is less than mod A then. Okay? So if this is what I am saying that B not equal to 0. If they are saying that A not equal to 0, then you have to write this. Because what when we have to divide, that number should be. So what happens here? Here B. Here A is there. This number should not be 0. This number is 0, no problem for this one. Okay. But for C, A upon B. So B should not be 0 because you are dividing by B. So here what? You are dividing by A. So A should not be 0. Okay. So B is not equal to 0. That means you are dividing by B. So B is there here. B is here and B is here also. Okay. So A will be the single then. Okay. So which number is not 0 is which number is 0 is not 0 is given. It should be in 2 times. So here A not equal to 0. It should be 2 times. This will be here. Okay. Note that is. Okay. So that means you are applying the division. This is the division algorithm. Means what? You are doing there is the quotient and remainder. So what you have to do? Suppose the number is suppose we have the number. Suppose 68. Okay. And minus 7. I want a quotient and remainder when 68 is divided by this. So what I have to do? So I will write here minus 7, 68. Okay. So I want here positive number. So this is what? Minus 8 I can write here. No. 9 also is applicable here. 9. So this is what? 63. And what is this then? Then this will be what then? So this is 5 then. How I can write this? 68 is equal to minus 9 minus 7 plus 5. That means this is what minus 9 is the quotient, because these numbers are provided to you. Okay, these numbers are provided to you. So minus 9 is the quotient, and 5 is the remainder. So see, the remainder always less than, not equal to, always less than what you are doing. So this is what minus 7, mod of minus 7. So now see, so the remainder r is what, less than minus 7. So see, 5 is less than mod of minus 7. So no problem for this one. Okay, suppose you have this minus 68 and minus 7. Suppose you want to find a quotient there and remainder this. So what to do? This is what minus 68. This is minus 7. Okay. So then that means what? Suppose the problem is in the competitive exam. Suppose, so they will give the pair this. They will give the pair 9 and 5, something like this. So what you have to do? You have to multiply by this number to this. So this is what minus 9 into 7 is 16 plus 63 plus 5 is 68. Yes, we get the 68. Now here also see what happened then here. So this is what 9, then this is what minus 63, then this is plus, because we are changing the sign. So minus must become plus. So this will what minus 5, then this will what minus 5. Then what you can write this minus 68 as you are dividing by minus 5. Your quotient is 9, and then what plus minus 5. So that means what your 9 is the quotient, minus 5 is the remainder, right? 9 is the quotient. So this is what minus 7 into 9. See whether this is odd or not. Whether these two are equal or not. Yes, they are equal. That means 9 is the quotient and minus 5 is the remainder. Okay. So in this way you can apply the division algorithm like this. Okay. You can find the quotient and the remainder. Also note that if you are dividing by 2, then the remainder is 0 or 1. Okay. Okay, remainder is greater than this. Okay. The remainder is 0 and 1. When we are dividing by 3, then the remainder is what? 0, 1, 2. When you are dividing by 4, the possibilities of the remainder is, okay. When you are dividing by 5, then the possibilities of remainder are these only. Okay, so that you should remember this. Okay, so that is the division algorithm. And some points you should know. That is what first point. So square of any integer is of the form 4k or 8k plus 1. The square of any integer is of the form 4k plus 4k or 4k plus 1. 8k plus 1. Note that, please. So that means what? Suppose the square of any integer. Suppose we will take the square of any integer. So square of the 2, suppose. Square of the 2 is 4. So this is 4k. Okay. Square of 3 now, suppose. The square of this is 9. So this is what? 8k plus 1. This is of the form. K is equal to 1 now here. The square of 4, suppose. This is what? 16. So this is 4 into 4. This is of the form 4k. The square of the, suppose 5. This is 25. So 8 into 3 plus 1 now. See, this is 8k plus 1. Something like this. Okay. So this is the meaning of this. The square of any integer is of the form 4k or 8k plus 1. So that means you can write that number as 8 times something plus 1. Okay. The square of any number you can write 4 times something or 8 times something plus 1. So this is the meaning of this one. Okay. So if a square plus 1 upon 3 belongs to Z, for all a belongs to Z. So that means what? Whatever the integer may be, a into a square plus 1 upon 3 is always integer. It's always integer. This they want to say. Okay. So now, what is the definition of the divisibility? This is very important here. Divisibility. So that means what here? Suppose AB belongs to Z. Okay, and a not equal to 0 is provided to you. Okay, so then a divide b, this is what a divide b, that means a is b is divisible b is divisible by a. We will say that b is divisible by, or a is the divisor of b. So this implies that there exists c belongs to z such that b is equal to ac. That means what? A divide b implies that b is equal to ac. C belongs to z now. So now whether this is hold 6, whether is it true? So 6. Can I write 6 is equal to 2 times something? Yes, 2 times something. I can write this. Okay. So 3 is integer. So can I, whether is it true? So can I write minus 6 is equal to minus 2 times some integer? Yes, I can write this. So this is whole now. This is whole. So 5 times 6. 5 divided 6. Can I write this? So can I write 5 into something? 5 into something? No, I cannot write something. So 5 do not divide this. Can I write this 6 divide suppose the 12? 6 divide 12. Yes, I can write 12 is equal to 6 times 2 now. Yes. So 6 divide 12. So can I write this 12 is divide the 6? No, because 6 we cannot write 12 into some integer. So this is 1/2, but 1/2 is not integer. 1/2 is not integer. Okay. So that means what? 10 divide 6. This is not true. Okay. So I hope that you understand this. So what do you mean by a divide b? So when we say that a divide b, if b we can write a times some integer. When b we can write, so that is this is not actually the denominator. Note that. This is, you cannot write this is not a upon b. This is not a upon b. Okay. So this is what a divide b. We are writing this as a divide b. So what? If there exists an integer. So b divide a. How b divide a? Means what? A is equal to bc. You can write a is equal to b times some integer. But here what? This b should not be 0. Note that. So here what? We cannot take. We are not taking a as a 0. We are not taking a. So in our definition what? A not equal to 0. So b may be 0. That means what here? So 2 divide 0. Is it true? Yes, it is true. So 0 I can write 2 into 0. But 0 divide 2, is it true? 0 divide 2, is it true? So can I write 2 is equal to 0 times something? No, I cannot write 2 is equal to 0 times something. So this is not true. 0 do not divide 2. But 2 divide 0 is true. Is true. Because 0 we can write 2 into 0. But 0 divide 2, this is not true. Okay. So that means what? Whenever you are writing a divide b, a should not be 0. A should not be 0. So this should not be 0. Actually what? This will be our denominator by our language. This is not denominator, but by our language, this will be our denominator. See, this should not be 0. In another language we are saying that this is not a mathematical language, this will be our language. Okay. So this is the meaning of this. So what is this? Suppose a divide 1. A divide 1. A divide 1. Can you write a is equal to something this? This should be the 1 by a then. Right? So that means what here? A should be the plus or minus 1. So plus or minus 1 divide 1. Only plus or minus 1 divide 1. So this is also true. Plus or minus 1 divide plus or minus 1. Okay, that is whole now. Okay. So that means what? Whenever a divide 1, then a should be plus or minus 1. Whenever a divide minus 1, a should be plus or minus 1. Plus or minus 1. Okay. Now this is plus or minus 1 and plus or minus a are always divisors of a. Always divisors of a. That means you can write plus or minus 1 divide a, plus or minus a divide a. You can write this. You can write this. Not vice versa. You cannot write this a divide plus or minus 1. Note that. You cannot write this. Okay? But this is true. Okay? So remember this. Remember this. A divide 1 implies this. A divide 1 implies a is equal to plus or minus 1. A divide a minus 1 implies a divide plus or minus 1. And these two things. Okay. So these are also the plus or minus 1, plus or minus a are always divisors of a, and they are called improper divisors of improper divisors of improper or proper. They are called proper divisors of a. No, improper is the correct one. So they are called improper divisors of A. And the divisors other than plus or minus 1. So that means what? Suppose this plus 4 plus or minus 1 and plus or minus 4 are the improper divisors of the 4. And the divisors other than 4, the divisors other than 4 which are plus or minus 2. Okay, so these are the divisors other than, that is 2 and minus 2 is the divisors of 4. So they are called proper divisor. These are the proper divisor of this. Suppose we have 12, then what here? So plus or minus 1 and plus or minus 12 are improper divisors of 12. Then plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 4, plus or minus 6. Right? These are the proper divisors of 12. So I hope that you understand the definition of the basic definition of the divisibility. Now we'll go to the some properties of this. Okay, so that is very important thing. So A, B, C, D, X, Y, all are the integers now. All are the integers. Then first one, A divide B implies that A divide BC. You can multiply A divide B, then A divide BC. You can multiply anything for this. Suppose this is now our denominator here, BC, right? You can multiply here anything here, so that that does not alter this one. Okay, because what B divide A means what? B is equal to AX now. You cannot take the C now here. You can multiply C now here. What? BC is equal to ACX. Right? 8 times something now. This will be the integer. Product of two integer is integer. That means what here? So BC is nothing but 8 times some integer. That means A divide BC. A divide BC. Okay. So this is the property of this one. Okay. The second property is what? Second is what? A divide B. B divide C. So this implies that A divide C. A divide C. How we can prove this one? So B is equal to X. C is equal to BY. Okay, so what is your B? B is equal to X. C is equal to AXY. That means 8 times some integer. So C is equal to 8 times some integer, means C divide, means A divide C. So A divide C. So this is the property. So easily we can obtain the property, easily we can prove the property also. So if a third property is what? A divide B, A divide C. This implies that A divide B plus C, A divide B minus C, A divide Bx plus Cy. That means you can take the linear combination of B and C. A divide B, A divide C. Then A divide B plus C also allowed. That means if you put X is equal to 1 and Y is equal to 1, then you get B plus C, B plus C. If you take X is equal to 1 and C is equal to Y, so then you get X minus Y. So B minus C, you get B minus C. So B divide. But now this is not true now. B divide Bx plus Cy plus some constant. That is not allowed. This is not allowed. Okay. So that means what? A divide Bx plus Cy. Okay. Suppose you have given that. So suppose you have given that A divide B, A divide C implies that 1. A divide Bx plus Cy. And second is what? A divide Bx plus Cy minus 1 or plus 1, whatever this, plus 2 plus 3, whatever this. So now this is what? 1 is true. Second is not true. So option will be like that. 1 is true. Second is true. So both 1 and second are true. So here meaning is what? Only first is true. 1 is true means only first is true. Only second is true. So they will ask like this what? Both 1 and second are true. Both 1 and 2 are false. Like this. Okay. So now here what? Only 1 is true. The second one is false here. The question will be maybe asked like this. Okay, now next is what? A divide B. B is not equal to 0. A is not equal to 0, no problem. Okay, so then what? A is mod A. This is very important now here. Mod A. So this is what? This is greater than. So that means what here? 6 is 12. Yes, because what? 12 we can write. Okay, but 12 divided 6. Is it true? No, we can. It is not. Because this number is what? This number should be the bigger than this. This number should be the bigger than this. So that means what? Suppose 5 divided 7. 5 divide 7. Okay, is it allowed? So here what? So no problem for this one. So 7 divide something like this A now. So what is A? A should be less than 7. A should not A should be the greater than 7. A should be the greater than A should be the greater than A should be the greater than 7. So A should be greater than 7. A should be the greater than 7. A should be the greater than 7. So A must be the greater than 7 now. Okay. So note that this is very important here. Now say therefore what here? Therefore we are writing this is what? A divide this. A divide this. So that means what? So A, what is this? 1 is greater than A. This implies that what? 1 is greater than or equal to A. 1 is greater than or equal to A. That means A is less than 1 and A is positive. A is integer. A is positive integer. That means what? A is integer. That means what? A must be plus or minus 1. A must be the plus or minus 1 only. Okay. So note that this. From this inequality, you get this one. So this is very important now here. Now A divide B. B divide A. They are the divisors of with each other. That is what? A is equal to plus or minus B or B is equal to plus or minus A. Anything. Okay. Both. Meaning of this is same as this. Meaning of this is same as this. No problem for this one. Okay. They are one and the same. But only the way of writing is different here. Okay. So that you should remember this. So now next note is what? N into n plus 1 is divisible by 2. That means what? This is the product of two consecutive number. Product of the consecutive number is always even. Product of two consecutive number is always even. So this is divisible by 2. That means this is divisible by 2 means it is integral multiple of 2. So meaning is same now here. So n is odd. N is odd. Next point is what? N is odd. Then n square minus 1 is divisible by 8. So n square minus 1 is divisible by. So if you take n is odd, that means what? The first odd number is 1, then 1 0, that means this is what? 3 square is 9, 9 minus 1 is divided by this. Next odd number is 5 square minus 1, so 25 minus 1 is 24, so this is divided by 8. No problem for this one. Note that if m not equal to 0, m divide A divide B. If m is not equal to 0, A divide B implies that ma divides mb. If m is not equal to 0, then you can multiply by mm here. Okay, so this you should remember this. Now GCD now. GCD of A and B. Okay, so GCD is always positive. GCD is always positive. That means there exists D belongs to Z plus now. Positive, right? Such that D divides A, D divides B. Right? D divides both. That means D is the common divisor of A and B. So this is problem. Then what? If C divides A, C divides B, that means any common divisor. This implies that D divides C. Okay, so that means there D is the greatest common divisor. This is what? D is the greatest common divisor. So any common divisor also divide. Okay, this is wrong. Not C divide D. Then C divide D. Okay, so any common divisor also divides D. Okay, so this is the definition of the GCD. This is the definition of the GCD. Now suppose there are three types of the set you have seen in the proof of this one. So in the proof of division algorithm, you have seen the set. You have seen the set like this. So A minus XB. Okay. So A minus XB is greater than or equal to 0, X belongs to Z. Okay, A and B are also 0. Now this is the set. So this is S is non-empty the set of positive integers. Right? This is the, because this is greater than or equal to 0 is given. So what here then, S has smallest element. What about the largest, that we don't know, but S has the smallest element. One thing also in the proof of the common divisor, that means what, any common divisor, suppose A and B, D is the GCD of the A and B, then the GCD can be expressed as a linear combination of A and B. There exists X and Y such that D is equal to AX plus BY. Okay, unique, these are the unique now. Yeah, X and Y are the unique integer. So D is equal to this. Okay, in the proof of this one, you have taken this as what, AX plus BY, AX plus BY greater than 0 is strictly greater than 0. Okay, so X and Y belong to Z. Your A and B are already integers. So again, this is what the set of positive integers. This is the setup because this is greater than 0. Positive, non-negative, and positive both are same. So the property hold for non-negative, that property also hold for the positive also. So this is the set of the positive. This is subset of the set of the positive integers. Okay, and therefore it has the least element. That means it has the smallest element. For largest, we don't know. Okay, so this thing you should remember. So here also well ordering principle is applicable here. Then after that you have seen, so you are familiar with the GCD, no problem, because we are not taking the problems on the GCD. So you have to take problems on the GCD. So we are not taking prime numbers. Okay, co-prime means relatively prime. So A and B are relatively prime if their GCD is 1. That means they don't have the common factor. If they don't have the common factor, they are said to be co-prime or relatively prime. So that means what, A and B are relatively prime if GCD of A and B 1, or there exist integers like this, X and Y, such that X plus BY is equal to 1. So A and B are said to be relatively prime if there exists an integer X and Y such that X plus BY is equal to 1. That means the GCD is 1. Okay, so this is the definition of the co-prime. Okay, so if you have this, if you have X plus BY is equal to 1, then this is same as AY, is same as this same as XB, this same as XY, all GCD is 1. Take any element from one term from this one and one term from this one, one member from this and one member from this one. So one member is A, one member is B here, one member is A here, and one from this one from this one from second one from first term, one from second term. So the GCD is 1. So this you should remember this. Okay, so another thing is what, so if GCD of AB is equal to D, then GCD of A upon D, B upon D is 1. That means what, this is GCD. GCD is the common divisor. So this is the integer now, A upon D and B upon D, because A is a multiple of D now. Because this GCD of A and B, that means A is the multiple of B, B is the multiple. So your DD will be cancelled, and whatever the numbers remain, they are the relatively prime then. They are relatively prime. So this you should remember this. If A divides C, B divides C, such that GCD of AB is equal to 1. Whatever the number is, very important this. A divides C, B divides C. Both are the divisors of. If GCD of AB is 1, then this product divides C then. The product also divides C. Okay. So if the GCD is 1, then only this happen. If GCD is not 1, then this is not happen. Note that this. Okay. If GCD is not 1, then this is not true. AB do not divide C. Not in general this is. Okay. So you should remember this also. Okay. Now next, M divides AB. M divides AB, and GCD of M is equal to 1. GCD of M is equal to 1 or BM is equal to 1. So if GCD of BM is equal to 1, then M divides B now here. So this also you should remember this. M divide AB. So M divide product. With one of them is GCD is 1. They are the relatively prime. Then M divide the other one. So if BM is equal to 1, GCD of BM is equal to 1, then M divides A. This is a very important thing. You should remember this. So this is called a Euclid's lemma. This is called Euclid's lemma. This is the Euclid's lemma. Okay. So M divide AB, that means M divide product. So this. So next thing is what? Product of three consecutive integers. This is product of three consecutive integers is divisible by 3 factorial, means 6. It is divisible by 3 factorial, means 6. Okay. Another thing is what? If GCD of AN is equal to 1, GCD of BN is equal to 1, GCD of AN is equal to 1, GCD of BN is equal to 1, then GCD of ABN is also 1. AN is equal to 1, BN is equal to 1, then GCD of ABN is also 1. Okay, so this also you should remember this. So just we have seen that every GCD is expressed in the form Ax plus by. Suppose the find 13x plus 14y, find the x and y such that 13x. So don't do anything, just take the options are here given, 1, y is equal to 2, something like this. Options are given. Pick up from that one. Just check whether this is what, suppose this is what 14 now here. So this is what 24, suppose like this, whatever this. 27, suppose this is 27. So x is equal to 1, y is equal to 1. So what pick up from the first option, put x is equal to y1, put x is equal to 1, y is equal to 1 here. So what is this? 13 plus 14 is 27. Yes. So this will be your correct option. If it is not one, then choose the second pair, choose the third pair, choose the fourth pair. Choose the don't pick up the fourth term. That is automatically will be true. Don't verify for the last one. If you verify the first three, so if it is not one, your fourth will be the required answer. So directly click on the fourth option now. Okay. Now, after that, you have seen the LCM. After that, you have seen the LCM. What is the LCM? LCM is what? A divide B, A divide M, B divide M. So now for GCD, you are writing D divides A, D. So common divisor. This is common multiple. Now the second is what? A divide C, B divide C, then M divide C. M divide C. And for GCD, opposite term. D divide A, D divide B. C divide A, C divide B, implies that C divide D now. For okay. So what is the relation between GCD and this? So this is what LCM is denoted by AB. Okay. So LCM is same as AB is same as A into B upon GCD of AB. GCD of. This is the relation between GCD and LCM. That means if you are given GCD of this, GCD of, suppose you are given the example 1166 1474, whatever this, suppose this is 22, suppose this is 22, GCD is 22, suppose the GCD is 22, find LCM 1166 1474, suppose 1474. Okay, so what is that then? This is same as 1166 into 1474 upon GCD. GCD was the GCD was 22 upon 22. Okay, so just do the calculation. This one you get the LCM. Okay, so this is very nice thing. So such type of the problem will be asked now. One thing you should remember that square of any integer is 4k plus 1. Okay, square of any integer is 4k or 4k plus 1 is of the form 4k or 4k plus 1. Okay. The square of any integer of the form, this also we can write 8k plus 1. 4k plus 1, 8k plus 1. Okay. One of them form. The square of any integer of the form 3k or 3k plus 1. 3k or 3k plus 1. Okay. The cube of any integer is of the form 9k plus 1, 9k plus 8. One of them, okay. So you know that when we say that a number is divisible by 3, if sum of the digit is divisible by 3, then the number is divisible by 3, and that is also property of 9 also. If sum of the digit is divisible by 9, then the whole number is divisible by 9. This you should remember this. Okay. So I hope that you understand all these things. Okay. So try to solve some problems on the GCD. Simple problems on the GCD. Suppose you want they ask GCD. Option will be given. Okay. Find all the numbers. GCD is greatest common divisor. Suppose what they have given the 12 and 16. Suppose GCD of 12 and 16. Answer is given 2, 4, 8. 2, 4, 8, and suppose 1 is given. Now see, 2 is a common multiple, 4 is also common multiple, but 8 is not a common multiple. Okay. So among these, which one is the greatest? So 4 is the greatest. Okay. So now your 4 will be the GCD of this one. Right. So if there are two numbers, they are the common divisor. They are the common multiple of this one. So just take the biggest one. That will be the answer in this way. No need to find the GCD by your manual method. Just pick up from the option. Okay. So I hope that you understand this one, the divisibility. Only you should remember that A divided B means what? B is equal to AX. AX or AC, whatever this. Okay. So that X is the integer. X should be the integer. This is the main part of this one. I hope that you understand this one. So try to understand all those things. Try to solve some problems. Okay. Read this once and again and again. Okay. So I will stop here. Thank you.